Hey, what's up YouTube? This is We All Juggle Knives with a video on the Enzo Birk 75 folding knife. Now you might say, haven't you shown that before? No, this is actually a different model that I just got. A different model than the previous Enzo Birk 75s that I have shown. And I will explain the differences between all the different models. But first, the blade length on this is 3 inches. The blade steel is S30V. And there you see it with a knife I have already reviewed. That's the Brisa Enzo Trapper 95. I will include a link to that review. That's a full flat ground version, but they do have a Scandi version of that Trapper 95 as well. Oh, and I will include Amazon links to basically my top picks from this company. Now this company is in Finland, and their fixed blades are made in Finland. However, their folders, such as this folder, are actually made in Taiwan. Now, as you may know, some of Spyderco's folders are also made in Taiwan, and perhaps those are made by the same contractor that makes this for Enzo, judging by the very high quality level of this folder. There's a closer look. You see the lanyard hole. It's got carbon fiber handle scales, open pillar construction. You can also see the pocket clip there. Dual thumb studs are your openers. There you see the partial tang. And it's a liner lock. It locks up very securely. I mean, very securely. The tolerances on this are precise. It opens very smoothly. It's just a high quality knife. It has a Scandi Grind. Now I have to say, I did not purchase this as a bushcraft knife or a camp knife. I just purchased it as for around town, as an everyday carry, in the everyday carry rotation, right? Because I do prefer to use small fixed blades rather than a folder for bushcraft type stuff. Right, here are all the different Enzo Birk folders. Okay, now listen carefully because I don't want you to purchase the model. I want you to purchase the model that you want, right? So they have a D2 Scandi. They have the S30V Scandi, which is this one. They have a full flat grind S30V. And that last one there is a slip joint with a nail nick. That's what they call the PK70. And that's for people who live in areas where a locking blade or one-handed opening is not allowed, or if you just want a less threatening, more people-friendly folding knife. Now, if you don't remember all the models, don't worry, because I'm going to put a full list of each one of these Amazon listings, and you can read the stats at each individual listing. Now this latest one, the S30V Scandi, I've been looking for this for a long time. I wanted one of these like last year, or maybe it was even 2 years ago, and I couldn't find one for sale in the US. They were just out of stock, but I just checked earlier this month. I checked again and I saw that several Amazon stores now have them in stock. Behold the sharpness. All right, now for some slow cuts. Look how thin. Look how thin those strips are. This comes incredibly sharp. I give this an A+ in initial sharpness, and I almost never give an A+. Usually the highest I'll give is an A, but this is a legit A+ in initial sharpness. It was lightsaber sharp. This series of folders is really a great series of folders from a very good company. In fact, I did a video a while back about like expensive knives and how high should you go if you don't care about collecting. What is that point beyond which you're paying more and more for smaller and smaller improvements? And my basic conclusion was that this knife is right on the sweet spot It's $130, and once you go much higher than this, you're going to be paying a lot more for really tiny improvements that most people are not going to care about. So yeah, you might not think that you could say it's a high value knife because it's over $100, but trust me, even if you're not a collector, I would still recommend this knife. In fact, if you're only ever going to buy one knife in this price range, this is the one that I would recommend. Now you might say, well, why would you use a Scandi Grind if you're not using it for bushcraft? Or maybe you do want to use it for bushcraft. Scandi Grind makes the knife extremely good for slicing, and even just around town. Think of the stuff you might do. Are you opening a package? Well, you're going to be slicing it open, right? Are you cutting up your lunch? You're going to be slicing through that apple or whatever you're cutting. Even the unlikely event of weapon usage, I mean, aside from just like stabbing people, most common technique would be slicing at someone. Even just cutting cordage, paracord, you're going to be slicing through paracord or whatever cordage. Slicing is just very useful, so an epic slicing folder is therefore also very useful. And with a small folding knife, really the main drawback of a Scandi is mitigated, because the main possible drawback would be that there's not a lot of metal behind that edge, right? So it is not as strong as some other grinds would be, but for a small folder, you're not going to be chopping into hardwood or doing anything that would cause that drawback to matter. So that's why I like the Scandi Grind and not just for bushcraft. This particular knife, really well made, opens smoothly, locks up securely. This is definitely on my top 10 list of EDC folders that I recommend. Check out the Amazon links. I hope you enjoyed seeing this blade. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.